Hi, my name is Matthew Pounder, and I'm going to be presenting Everybody Writes by Ann Handley's chapters 14 through 16 today. The first chapter, chapter 14, was Start with Dear Mom. So she started the chapter by explaining that some writers will struggle with writer's block. So instead of just sitting there and staring at your paper or your laptop and not knowing what to write, you could start with writing down Dear Mom and then writing from there. Using this phrase will help make the writing more fluid and seem more comfortable, as if you were writing a letter to your mom. If you don't want to write to your mom, you can always do Dear Dad or Hey Hun, anything like that. Hey You, any of those. If you're writing for marketing or sales, you can always do Dear and then do whatever your favorite customer is, because that probably has a good relationship. It really helps putting a face to who you're writing to, opposed to just an empty figure. An example for this is if you're writing an informal blog post, you could start with Dear Mom, Dear Dad, Hey Hun, Hey You, any of those. If you're writing a marketing or sales article, you could do Dear Favorite Customer or Dear Person that you care about informing. If it's some money tip, you could write it to, say, your best friend who really needs help with managing his money. Or if you're writing for social media, a good one is Dear Future Me or Dear and then whoever your best friend is. The next chapter was if you take a running start, cover your tracks. So sometimes you don't have writer's block like we just talked about, and your words are really flowing. This is a great thing and something you should take advantage of. Don't stop writing because you're worried about what you might have to cover up. However, when you are finished, you do need to revise and check your work. So typically the first paragraph or two are not really needed and are just extra fluff. They take away from the point of your writing and make your writing weaker. Instead, try deleting the first paragraph or the second paragraph, and you will get to the point much faster. Getting to the point faster will lead to a lot more effective writing. For example, the paragraph or the article written ahead of us is an article from a social media report. So it says that simultaneous to the modern boom of Web 2.0 and along with the rise of social media, companies have projected their presence by utilizing social media giants, Facebook and Twitter, in attempts to market their business. And while companies have seen much success in tapping the veins of reaching the masses through the few quintessential social networks, only a fraction have explored the option of YouTube marketing. Let's take a look at the facts. YouTube is not only the second largest search engine, but also the third most visited website in the world, only behind Google and Facebook. It receives over 1 billion unique monthly visitors and has about 6 billion hours of videos watched each month. Let that sink in. Now, this is a really effective paragraph and writing structure, as it was published in an article. However, if they took out the first paragraph and revised the second one to fit the start of the writing, it would be a lot stronger. For example, they could say, though many companies have succeeded in reaching their audiences via social media networks such as Facebook and Twitter, only a fraction have explored the option of marketing via YouTube. Yet, YouTube is not only the second largest search engine, but is also the third most visited website in the world, only behind Google and Facebook. It receives over 1 billion unique monthly visitors and has about 6 billion hours of videos watched each month. Chapter 16 was Notice where words appear in relation to others around them. Misplaced modifiers are a very common mistake by writers. They're also a very easy fix. They can be fixed by reordering the placement of the modifiers, adding context to the modifiers, or even the whole structure of the sentence. Dangling modifiers are when the modifier does not actually modify the word or phrase it was intended to. Commonly misplaced modifiers are only, often, having, just, nearly, almost, and especially. Words like just, only, often, having, nearly, almost, and especially are kind of weak, and we don't need to include them in our writing, but if we do, they need to be used correctly. For example, original sentence was unbeaten, the regular season championship was over. However, The correction should be unbeaten, the Dolphins claimed their regular season championship. The first sentence doesn't give context of who won the regular season championship, where it was, who was in it, but the second one gives context that the Dolphins won and claimed the regular season championship. The second example is, only playing one sport has been proven to not help athletes. We should move only to in front of one sport instead of in front of playing, because it modifies one sport, and you're talking about only one sport, not only playing. So the correction should be, playing only one sport has been proven to not help athletes. In conclusion, you should start your writing with Dear Mom to help get away from the stress of a writer's block. Second, you should get to the point sooner in your writing, but you shouldn't stop yourself from writing. And the third one is work on misplacing modifiers in your writing. Thank you and have a great day.